Yo, what is up, guys? James Carter TV here for yet another video in my 32 teams and 32 days 2015 NFL season team preview videos that I have been making throughout the month of August. We are now on August 5th, and we are going to talk about the NFC runner-ups, the Green Bay Packers, a team that is a popular pick to win the Super Bowl, and for good reason. This is a very talented roster, and they were a talented roster last season, and they even found a way to kind of improve upon that here and there, but they lost some pieces that I think that they'll be fine without, but also they have some young pieces that will develop, that will get better, and if they do, then really look out for them. The Packers won 12 games last year, went 12-4. They could improve upon that. Let's talk about their strengths right now. First of all, biggest strength, obviously, Aaron Rodgers. He's the best quarterback in the league. To me, I know some people want to argue Tom Brady, and that's fine. Give me Aaron Rodgers. You may want Andrew Luck, fine. Give me Aaron Rodgers. Extremely accurate, great arm, can fit any ball into any window. I mean, he's great, takes care of the football, unlike Andrew Luck. Aaron Rodgers had how many interceptions last year? 5, maybe 6. Andrew Luck had 16. Give me Aaron Rodgers, period. He's 2-time MVP now. Should be 3, I think. I thought he should have won the year before this one. Or actually, what was it? I think it was 2012. No, he won the 2012 one. There was one year in there. I can't remember right now, but there's a year in there I thought he should have won, but they gave it to Adrian Peterson instead. No, actually, no, that was when Adrian Peterson went over Peyton Manning. I thought Peyton Manning should have won that. But Aaron Rodgers, 2-time MVP. And he could be a 3-time, 4-time, 5-time when it's all said and done, because he's still pretty relatively young in terms of quarterback age. I mean, you can go on for quite a while at the quarterback position. So that's their biggest strength, obviously. Another big strength, their offensive line. And this has been a weakness for them in the past, the recent past. But now it is a strength. They've built this offensive line. They have David Bakhtiari on that left side of the offensive line. He's a good left tackle. He's not great. But he's a good left tackle for a team that struggled protecting Aaron Rodgers, and no matter how great he may be, he still does need a little protection now and then. Drafting him in, I think it was the 2nd or 3rd round, maybe 4th round, a couple years ago, he slid in that spot, and he's done a good job there. Brian Bulaga on the right side. Used to be on the left side. Bakhtiari took that spot, now he's on the right side. That's a damn good right tackle to have. I was surprised they were able to retain him for agency. I thought he was doomed to leave, and they would have to replace him in the draft, but no. They were able to keep Brian Bulaga. You have T.J. Lane, Corey Linsley in the center position, and Josh Sutton, or Josh Sitton in the left guard position. I mean, this is a great offensive line. I mean, Sitton is one of the best left guards in the league, and this is a pretty damn solid offensive line. Another strength, the wide receivers. You have Jordy Nelson. He's a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. Don't let anyone tell you different. I mean, this guy, yes, Aaron Rodgers is great, and yes, he does set him up with some damn good passes, but Jordy Nelson is a pretty good goddamn wide receiver. Let's give him that. And then you have Randall Cobb, who, again, I was surprised the Packers held on to him. I mean, 2 huge free agents on offense, and Brian Bulaga and Randall Cobb, and somehow, some way, with the Aaron Rodgers contract already in the books, they found a way to pay Randall Cobb and to still have Jordy Nelson on the roster. And they have 2 young kids. One, Devontae Adams, is a sophomore this season, and they drafted Ty Montgomery out of Stanford in the 3rd or 4th round, I believe the 3rd round, and he's been impressing in training camp period. So those are 4 wide receivers right there. 2 you already know what you're going to get in Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb, and 2 more in Devontae Parker and Ty Montgomery that offer a good amount of potential and could be 2 players to watch to give Aaron Rodgers even more weapons offensively. Defense, the strength there is the secondary. You have Casey Hayward on one side. That's why they were okay with letting Tramon Williams go. They said, hey, Tramon Williams, hey, you can leave, bro. We have Casey Hayward, and he's been impressive ever since he's been a rookie. Now, his sophomore season, he got injured. He wasn't able to play as much as we would have liked. But hey, this guy's been impressing us, so we're fine sliding him over there. And on the right side, we still have Sam Shields. We know what we're going to get from him. And back there, you have Morgan Burnett at the strong safety position. He's a damn good player in his own right. And then on the other side, you have HaHa Clinton-Dix, who had his struggles, but he did show a good amount of potential back there in the safety position. So really like the Green Bay corners. Mike Hyde, he's not great. And that's why you drafted Randall in the 2nd round, Demetrius Randall out of Arizona State. hopefully you hope that maybe he can help challenge for that slot corner position because Mike Hyde isn't great, but he's serviceable. Linebackers, you have Julius Peppers. How long does he have left? He was pretty good last season. He should be good again. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he just fell off the map, so look out for that. Clay Matthews, you know what you're going to get from him. One of the best pass rushing inside linebackers in the NFL, and he can slide outside whenever the hell he wants to. Nick Perry on their outside, he hasn't really... I wouldn't think, to my expectations, he hasn't met my expectations for him coming out, but he's been good enough for the right outside linebacker position. The defensive line, that's the weakness. Now it's time to talk about weaknesses. That's the big, glaring weakness for this team. Defensive line is not good. You have Daniels on the right end, good. That's a good player, but that's it. B.J. Raji is nowhere near as good as he was in 2011, 2010, that range. And Latroy Guion, come on. I mean, this guy, there's a reason why Marshawn Lynch has found success against your defense, and it's those two up front. B.J. Raji and Latroy Guion, they have not done a very good job in their own right, and they need to step it up. And Datone Jones, who you drafted a couple years ago too, he's not been as well as you need him to be. So the defensive line, they need to step up, especially when you're planning to go against Marshawn Lynch and the Seattle Seahawks. That's your plan. How can we be Marshawn Lynch and the Seattle Seahawks? Another strength that the Packers have, running back Eddie Lacy. You know what you're going to get from him. He's been impressive ever since his rookie season. And back there you have James Stark, who's a pretty good running back too. So the weakness is, it's really just the defensive line. The linebackers, they're not as great as I would like for them to be. I don't know what you're going to get from Julius Peppers at this stage in his career. He was good last season. What are you going to get from him again? You know Clay Matthews is good. Okay, fine. You have Barrington at the other inside linebacker position. What's he going to do? And Nick Perry is not as good as I would like for him to be. I guess that's a weakness, but that's still a pretty damn good linebacking core. But now we're talking about how you're going to become getting to the Super Bowl, and you were hella close. You should have won. And come on, you lost in overtime against the Seattle Seahawks. What was it, 28-22, something preposterous like that in a game where Aaron Rodgers should have put up more points, where the the Packers should have recovered an onside kick, and how they should have stopped Russell Wilson from converting a two-point crazy conversion that he converted. Bad luck. Stop the Packers from doing what they wanted to do. If they can clean that up, we can talk about all this positional crap all the hell we want to. They're going to be back in the playoffs. And then all that matters is that in those moments, can they win that game? In that moment, can they win that game? That's it. I mean, with this all positional crap, it's all fun and good. When we're talking about other teams, this is not that team. This is a team is going to the playoffs. What will they do there? I mean, the positional stuff, it's important with other teams that if you're trying to see, will they make the playoffs? What are they going to do in the playoffs? You know what the Packers are going to do. Can they, in that moment, play well enough? Because in that moment, in the NFC Championship, they did not play well enough. They need to get back there. They need to play better. They need to win the Super Bowl. And I expect that from the best quarterback in the league, Aaron Rodgers. So best case scenario, with this roster, they could go 14-2. They could just rifle out victories everywhere. Now, their schedule is a little difficult. Now, when you have this team, like I talked about, it's a damn good team that they have. You're able to do well no matter who you're playing. But this is a pretty difficult schedule. In my projection, in my summation, as they go up against the AFC West this year, which I think is going to be pretty good. I think you have 3 above average teams in the Kansas City Chiefs, the San Diego Chargers, and the Denver Broncos. And then they also have to face the first place teams in the NFC, being the Seahawks, the Cowboys, and the Carolina Panthers. Panthers are fine. You don't have to worry about them. You're going to beat them. And then you face the NFC West, and you go to San Francisco, and Packers fans, be honest with yourself, that's a problem. It's been a problem in the past 3-4 years. I think it's going to continue to be. Now, people are expecting the 49ers to do worse than what they have been doing during those other matchups. But, man, for some reason, you guys do not do well against San Francisco. Can you guys finally go to San Francisco and get the victory? I don't know. And then within your own division, I expect the Packers to be the best team in their division. But the NFC North is one of the better divisions in the NFL. The Bears were down last year, but I think John Fox is going to bring them back up a little bit. The Lions will be back down a peg, and the Vikings are coming with Teddy Bridgewater, and Adrian Peterson is back in that fold. So ultimately, best case scenario, they rifle off this schedule. You know, they win not everything, but they win a lot of games, 14-2. Worst case scenario, they stumble a little bit, and they go 10-6. But I really don't see that happening because I project them to go 12-4. That's my prediction, 12-4. Losses every now and then to like a San Francisco. They face Seattle. That might be tough for them. They go to Denver, and then they go to Minnesota. That's like the 4 losses, and then there can be some leeway, some give and take here or there, but that's really what I'm projecting with the Green Bay Packers. Some wild cards. These are players that could affect the team's season that you're not really expecting. Players that I don't really trust, but hey, if they do better than I project they will, then the Packers could be a better team than I'm expecting. Quentin Rollins and Demetrius Randall out there, the 2 young rookie corners that you drafted in the draft. If they're able to produce, then the Packers could have a damn good secondary that could give a lot of teams issues throwing the football on them. Another player, you know, maybe LaTroy Guion. I mean, he's inconsistent, but maybe if he's able to do something, then, you know, okay, the Packers' defensive front may be formidable, but I'm not going to project that. So, that's it again. Packers 12-4, NFC North champions, and how will they do in the playoffs? Well, you're going to have to wait for my playoff video to see what I think about that, but I think they're going to do pretty good. I'll just leave it at that. Until next time, James Carter TV, I'm out. Peace.